successful people in the world and why they were successful. And this is, I don't listen, Jay, I don't know why this is coming to me now, but I'm going to share the secret. And this is something that I learned. And he said that when he studied a lot of the successful people, the superstars like, Michael Jackson, Prince, and all the things, right? He said he couldn't find anything common. He's like, it wasn't race, it wasn't financial, it wasn't where you grew up. He said there was nothing, it was all over the place except for one thing. He said they typically had a parent, usually of the opposite sex, that when they was younger told them that they could do it.
Wow, really?
So it was a parent of the opposite sex telling them they could be successful or they could do it, and got them to believe in themselves at a young age. And that was the only common thing he was able to find in studying the most successful people.
And does it have to be a person of the opposite gender, or?
He said mostly. Now, if you think about Michael Jackson, for example, his father was Joe Jackson. Let's just leave it at that. His mother was probably more, supportive of him and loving of him. So typically, he said, it's typically of the opposite sex.
Wow, that's so interesting. I'm okay. So that was a great intro. And when you said you started at 12, I didn't know you were that young. My daughter just turned 12 literally today. So happy birthday to my daughter. I can't imagine, her going door to door. And what were you selling and what were you doing? Like, how do you even go door to door as a 12-year-old?
Okay. So I lived in Queens, New York. Okay.
Oh my gosh. My goodness.
And if you ever saw Coming to America,
yes.
The McDowell's was on Queens Boulevard, and I lived near that area. And that McDowell's wasn't a McDonald's; it was actually a Wendy's in real life that they converted. Long story short, that was the area. And so there on Queens Boulevard, there was all these businesses, door to door to door to door. And so my first business was called Candy Coupons, and I was running a local coupon directory for small business merchants. And so I called up and I talked to a printer about how much it would cost to print up, coupons, and I had how much it would take to mail and envelopes, and I had all the numbers figured out. Like, look, I've seen Valpak. I could do the same thing for local smaller businesses, right? And so at that time, I was able to design basic coupons, and I was able to print, right? And so my thing was go to these businesses and offer them to be a part of our mailer. We were going to mail so many thousands of people, right? And so many businesses had to, participate for it to be successful. And so what I did was I took my plans and I got my briefcase and I went into store to store to store. I went to, the pet store, and I went to the I went to all those little different stores up in there trying to sell my thing. And of course, I just a ton of rejection, but I just knew I was going to be able to sell this thing and